It's the Pirate People Podcast, today with Kelly Claycomb, NCMC nursing faculty and director of PN to ADN Program. Our purpose is to give you a little deeper look at some of the people in and around North Central Missouri College. And now Kelly Claycomb on the Pirate People Podcast. Kelly, let's talk first of all about the award that you got. This week it was presented, I guess, at a conference you went to? Is that correct? Can you tell us the story?
It was the MCCA annual convention.
Okay, the convention was the word I was looking for.
Yes.
What do you do when you convene for the MCCA?
Well, I didn't actually go convene. I just went down and got the award.
Oh, good for you. So you just zoomed in and picked up the award and then you're out of there.
Yes, yes.
Great.
But they had other sessions and several people from campus did attend.
Okay.
Just different things that affect community colleges across the state. But I had some duties here on campus that kind of prevented me from getting down to the actual convention.
What was the award for? First of all, the title was?
Excellence in Teaching.
In Teaching,
Yes.
Okay. So it is an award based on your actual classroom performance?
Yes, and then also performance in the program overall, how we have built the program and have gotten the accreditation status. It was something that we've been working on for 7 years under the leadership of 2 different deans. We just never were able to get it established and completed, and we finally did in 2020. So it was a big accomplishment for our program.
Well, you're talking about the nursing program,
Yes.
of course, right?
Yes.
Why was that so difficult?
Well, time. The extra resources that you would have to put into that, not only financially, but then the time that you're pulling from faculty and staff from their traditional college duties.
Right.
But to add on top of that with all of the reports and tables that we had to develop, the self-study that was over 100 pages long that we had to write, the systematic evaluation plan that we had to develop and update that's about 150 pages. Just all of those extra things. It just kind of took a lot of time and energy. And we'd get going with it and then things would happen and then we couldn't really complete. So
fair to say that it was a lot of hoops to jump through.
A lot of hoops to jump through. A lot of hoops.
What?
And we had a good start. We started the process really in about 2017 when we decided to use CNEA, which was a new accrediting agency at the time.
Okay.
So we had switched gears a little bit.
Well, I was going to ask because the nursing program isn't brand new.
Oh, no.
And so why so long to get accredited? Is it because you decided to change the agency?
That was part of it. And then the other part, when we switched deans, that kind of slowed things down a little bit.
Right.
Also, with the accreditation process, it's not something that the nursing program is required to have, but it helps our graduates to be more employable and it helps them to transition on to other colleges and universities.
Yeah.
So,
maybe we can come back to that in a little bit.
Sure.
How long have you been with the nursing program?
I started in 2007. I started teaching over at Maryville in their PN program and then transitioned over here to the Trenton PN program in 2011.
You guys have had so much success in nursing in general through the program. And you talked about the 100%, basically 100% graduate placement. What's the secret of the success of that program?
Our faculty has to be. They bend over backwards to make sure that those nursing students are successful in their courses and their clinical. They will go above and beyond. They are available 24/7 for a student if they need something. So honestly, it's the faculty and the staff that we have in our department.
I'm glad to hear that because as I get older, I plan on being sick, and so I need care. Yet a lot of people would say that, and you guys are accomplishing some really incredible things. I'm amazed. Let's put it that way. I've always heard great things about the nursing program, but one of the things that I hear, and we've talked about just briefly, is the 2-year program. You're cramming a lot of stuff into 2 years. How does that stack up against other forms of nursing education?
There are a variety of different paths that people can go through to become a nurse, and it's really kind of up to the student as to what path they decide to pursue. So they could opt out after year 1 and become a practical nurse.
Okay.
A lot of them do desire to go on for the set 2-year degree to become a registered nurse. Other programs tend to spread that out a little bit over maybe 3-4 years. They would end up with a bachelor's degree. But what we do with our students is we get them to working at the bedside after 2 years. And then if they decide to go on for a bachelor's degree, they have pathways that they can do that with. We have partnerships with several universities that they can easily transition to get that bachelor's degree.
Gotcha. Okay. So when they walk out of North Central, out of the nursing program, they are qualified to do what and apply for what?
To take the NCLEX, which is a national licensure exam that all registered nurses have to take and pass in order to work as a registered nurse.
Right.
Yes.
You have that great success rate of placing people, and yet there have to be some people that come in and do decide this is not for them.
Certainly.
We were talking about this time of year, we're all dealing with final grades and our final tests and stuff like that. You take it personally or does your staff and everybody take it personally when a kid doesn't?
It honestly kind of depends on the cause. What we're seeing now is a lot of times it's life factors that we can't fix. Whether it's job related or just financial related, those types of things. So that is hard to see a student who struggles between the work balance and the time that they have to devote to nursing school. I think a lot of students, when they come into the nursing program, do not realize how intense and how much time they have to dedicate just to nursing school to be successful.
Right.
And it's those students that are able to recognize that, yes, they do have to develop that extra time or devote that time to the nursing program. Those are the ones that are going to be successful. So,
what makes a good nurse?
Grit and determination. And compassion. That's something that's very difficult to teach somebody, how to be compassionate. But that grit and determination to buckle down with their textbooks and truly understand what is going on with the disease process with the patient, the whole critical thinking application aspect. It's something that's very, again, difficult just to teach somebody off the street.
Right.
Yeah.
Bedside manner, kind of what you're talking about. I mean, to use the old term.
And then maybe taking a set of data, such as a set of labs or vital signs or what a patient presents with, and try to understand what's going on with that patient. What can I do for that patient? When do I need to intervene or when do I not need to intervene? Those are probably the toughest things to teach a nursing student.
Has the use of data become more prevalent, or is it always been part of the field?
Yes, one of our graduate outcomes is information technology, that the student is able to use information technology to make informed decisions. Most everywhere uses electronic health records. So everything is available on the computer. They can access resources, such as maybe drug guides or evidence-based practice guidelines, straight on the computer. So just taking that information and applying it to a situation is key.
Kelly Claycomb with the nursing department at North Central is our guest today on the podcast. What's the fun part about being a nurse?
Just the variety. Nurses can do anything and everything. They can become teachers. They can go work in school settings, clinic settings, nursing homes, large metropolitan hospitals. They can travel. A lot of our younger grads are kind of bitten by the travel bug, and they can go work as a travel nurse in different areas all over the country for short stints and get a lot of experience. So just that variety.
Right.
They work nights, days, weekends, whatever,
Right. Yeah.
whatever kind of meets their needs and their desires. So.
Well, what about you? Were you a nurse at one point?
Yes. All of the faculty were nurses at one point. We had to. In order to teach nursing, you have to be a nurse.
Right.
So that's one of the requirements, is that you had to be a nurse first and foremost. And I worked rurally in Northwest Missouri at a local hospital, so that was where my background was primarily before entering nursing education.
What made you get into nursing?
Whenever I was in high school, I wanted to do something to help with caring for people.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that just kind of called to me whenever I was in high school. I didn't want to be stuck behind a desk or in a business aspect model, or like corporate workforce, things like that. I wanted to be out amongst the public and, caring for people, and science and the human body always interested me. So I took health occupation classes whenever I was in high school, and that's what led me on to my nursing degree.
Right.
Yeah.
You seem like a very compassionate and kind person.
Thank you.
Do you also have to be kind of tough-nosed in that profession?
You do.
Tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes you just kind of have to tell patients, and what we call patients now are our students. Our students are our patients.
Okay.
And so sometimes we do have to have that tough nose, hard line, because we know what it takes in order to be successful.
Right.
And because we've all been there, we've all done that. We've been through the nursing program ourselves, or here or other places, and so we know what it's going to take. And so if a student kind of like tries to bend over backwards or bend the rules a little bit, or maybe is not portraying themselves in a professional manner,
Right.
we do have to take a hard stance to
Yeah,
that. And I
yeah.
think that helps a lot with our success of the program.
Right. Right.
Is that we have a very high standard for our graduates.
Well, obviously you do, and it's working out well with the
Yes.
placement that you have. We talked about the COVID, the burnout, and all that sort of thing. Is it part of the curriculum now, or will it be soon?
Yes.
Dealing with the occupational hazards like burnout.
yes.
How do you
Yes.
teach that?
It's difficult because each person's a little bit different in what they can handle and what they don't handle. But just talking about some of those self-care things that they can do, maybe disengaging, how to disengage when they go home. That's always been tough for nurses.
Yeah.
We always tend to take our work home with us, thinking about that patient, wonder what happened to them after I left them. Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? So just some of those self-care things, whether it's meditation or even tapping into their religious beliefs, or just some different things that they could do to maybe help them prevent becoming burnout from the get-go.
Is it true that doctors and nurses are the worst patients in the world?
Yes, we are. We know what we want from our nurses
Right.
and our physicians,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're not afraid to say, this is not right. So,
Okay.
yes, we are the worst patients.
Well,
And sometimes we're the worst family members whenever our family members are in the healthcare
I imagine
area.
that's true.
Yeah, most of us don't come right out and tell people that we interact with in healthcare that, hey, I'm a nurse. We kind
really?
of wait for things to kind of play out and kind of see how it goes.
Right.
And then if we need to, we.
Because if you're at a party or social
Sure.
gathering, people are going to say my toe hurts,
and
or
you're just, whatever.
yeah, right. How do you relax? Because you're in that that teacher role, which also you can take personally, but you've
Yes.
been the nurse. So what do you do to decompress and to not carry it home?
Turn off the computer. Don't bring it home with me.
Right. Yeah.
Turn off the phone. I'm just enjoying time with my family. I
Right.
like to read and just kind of relax, at the home with them.
Right. So
that's
you
really
can turn it
nice.
off.
I can. Yeah.
That's good. That's a great skill to have.
Uh-huh.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Well, I'm married to my husband, Rob. We've been married for 24 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. He's an educator in the North Harrison School District.
Okay.
He teaches social studies, and he's also coached some baseball.
Okay.
My son Grant is a freshman at Kansas Christian College in Overland Park, Kansas,
Right.
where he plays baseball. And then my daughter Haley is a sophomore at North Harrison.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Baseball family, it sounds
Oh,
like.
gosh, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's not my,
Lots of traveling over the summer and different
the
things.
travel team thing and all of
yes,
that. Right?
yeah.
Does your high school have a baseball
it
team?
does,
And
yeah.
he's the coach?
He was.
Was,
yes,
yeah.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
decided to step down after this year so we can go watch my son
Oh, good
do
idea.
his baseball.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he's
What
gonna
position
go.
does your son play?
He pitches right now, but he's
Oh.
also played third base and shortstop.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
he's an overall good
Yep,
player.
overall good player.
You're a proud mom?
Oh, yeah, very proud mom.
And your daughter as well?
She is.
What's
She's
she
a
like?
cheerleader. She likes to dance. She's not athletic.
Now, wait a second. I know you've got to have some athleticism.
That
to do
is true. That is true. But
Yeah.
she's been a dancer for 10 years now.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
she does ballet and tap and jazz.
Right. What do your kids take after? Do they want to go into the medical profession?
Nope, not
or
at all.
nothing like that at
Nope,
all? Huh? They've
nothing.
seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just not for them. They probably have heard too many stories.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but my son is interested in either education or sports management. My daughter's interested in interior design.
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Holiday season's big with
Yes,
you.
yeah.
What's your best holiday tradition? What do you?
Just getting together with family.
Yeah.
And that's really for any holiday, whether it's 4th of July or Christmas. But
Yeah. Do you have
yeah.
lots of family around the area? Is
most
it-
of our
yeah.
family's local.
What is a family gathering like? Do you sit around and do you diagnose their injuries?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
There's no talk of
There's
that.
no talking
Come
of
on,
that.
there's got to be a
But
little
that's
bit.
how I de-stress, is to not bring the issues from work
Right.
to family gatherings.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Well, if your husband carried his coaching with him a little bit, you carried nursing with you. That could be a tough go.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's good to hear
And
that.
honestly, nurses are not supposed to talk about their patients.
True, yeah.
The privacy rules and things like that.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Has that changed a lot? The whole HIPAA thing and all that. I know for broadcasters it has.
Sure, somewhat, but honestly not. It is something that we've always dealt with, I
Right.
guess. Most of us, when we entered the nursing workforce, HIPAA was already in place, and those things were already recognized. So no, it really hasn't impacted how we care for patients or
Right.
anything, because really everything is on the computer now. So you can just go right to the computer and see, maybe prior interactions with the facility and see what their past medical history was, the medications they're taking, that type of thing.
Kelly, we were talking earlier about the students that come in and how you have. Do you even have to go out and recruit students, or do they
We
kind of
do.
come to you at this point?
We do, just to kind of get our name out there and just to let them know that, hey, we have a 2-year program. You can go from becoming an LPN to an RN in 2 semesters. We're the only program north of the Missouri River that does that.
Wow.
So just to kind of get that information out there, we go to a lot of high schools. We have a lot of high schools come to us. We have our annual health, science, and nursing day every February. And so we have employers and other universities come to meet with our nursing students, but then also we bring high school students to campus to show them the lab. Like, this is kind of what to expect if you're thinking about going into nursing, particularly here at NCMC.
What's the number one thing potential students are curious about and want to ask?
The coursework, what's classes like? Because they know it's tough. They've heard it's tough.
Right.
So what is it like? So we have students that are currently in the program meet with potential students just to kind of say, hey, there's just some things to think about if you're interested in becoming a nurse.
And that's the Pirate People podcast for today, featuring Kelly Claycomb of the NCMC Nursing Department. Our Pirate People podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. And don't forget about our YouTube channel, Pirates Digital Media. I am Rick Cole. Goodbye for now, and go Pirates!